This podcast is brought to you by ONNIT. Go to ONNIT.com and look at the great selection of supplements. If you find something you like, press in code Joey and get 10% off delivered right to your house. What's happened, you bad motherfuckers? It's Monday the 12th of September. The joint is brought to you by DraftKings. Listen, if you missed out on the first weekend of the NFL, you fucked up because the NFL's opening week was action-packed and it's just getting started. Tonight, we got Denver versus Seattle. Get ready for week 2 of the big game with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. This week, tonight, new customers can bet $5 on any football game and get 200 in free bets. Now, if you want more action, I tell you what I got for you. You can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. Bet on the NFL team to win. If your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code Joey to get 200 free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. Start tonight with Denver playing Seattle. That's code Joey, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. DraftKings. Download it right now and go win some fucking money. That's it, cocksuckers. Let's get this party started. It's Monday.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Uncle Joey here for another fun-filled week of the motherfucking joint. It was a great weekend, a great week, great UFC. Before we get anything started, I want to, America, 20 fucking 1 years. We don't know what the fuck happened. We were all waking up. Planes were flying around. People were yelling. Nobody knew what the fuck happened. And here we are today. It was funny because I went to the gym yesterday morning just to ride the bike and stretch on Sunday. And the TV was on. When I walked in, they said no music today because of 9/11. And I was like, fuck, I forgot all about 9/11. You remember the date, but you forget it's 9/11 today. And I was riding the bike and the TV was on. And they were doing a memorial from the 9/11 spot, like the World Trade Center, I guess. And it was just like 2 people at a time reading out all the names of the people. And, because when you hear whatever, 1,400 people, whatever, that's it. It's a number. But when I was on the bike and I was seeing the names coming up and where they were from and, their ages, that was a fucking horrible, horrible, horrible fucking day. Like these guys would have been 40 today. Like I read a ton of kids, 26, 30, and yeah, there was a lot of seniors, like 52, 51. There were guys from Colts Neck, guys from my area that commute to New York, and it just fucking dawned on me for a second, like, what the fuck happened that day? And I'm a New Yorker at fucking heart. I mean, all I know is this area as a kid. So on 9/11, it did fuck with me a little bit, like when I woke up in New York and I called my friends and I called whatever family I had, and it was just a shitty day, but I got a lesson out of this that's real important. And this is what I've been telling you motherfuckers for years. Yes, it was 21 years ago, and it was a sad day in fucking America, but guess what? America bounced back like a motherfucker. America bounced back like a motherfucker. It happened 21 years ago. That's it. It's over. We remember it. We remember the people. Like, there's a kid from my high school that went in there to save somebody. He was a cop, and he never came back out. Chris Amoroso. They have a benefit for him every year. This year was on a Saturday night. And it's just weird, like, when you look at it now, you know, and you see what the fuck we're made of as Americans. Yeah, that was a bad day for us. And we all have fucking bad days in life in a micro sense, you know. But guess what, man? It gets better. And you keep moving. I mean, there was a bunch of people there going, you know, Grandma never met you, but, you know, I think about you every day and shit. That was just a hard day in America. Yes, it was. But guess what? We fucking got up. We moved forward. We went over there and lit a bunch of fucking, you know, people on fire, whatever the fuck we did, how we did it, when we did it. It doesn't concern us in a way. It's something way bigger than us that any of us could ever comprehend. But, like, that's what I got out of it this morning. We're fucking Americans, man. We do whatever the fuck we want. This is fucking America. You understand me? And that's what's wrong with people today. They're slipping. They're forgetting that we're fucking America. Okay? And while you're worried about pronouns and fucking taking medication and doing all this shit, America's fucking America, motherfuckers. Don't ever fucking forget that. And I love living here. And I love being a part of this. And I love fucking knowing that as a fucking American, you could have a fucking bad day like I did when I found my fucking mother. And guess what? Have another bad day of fucking going to jail for something you did. Nobody fucking put you in there because you were just at home whistling Dixie. Don't get me wrong. But at the same fucking time, as an American, we bounce back. It's our toughness. This is what our lives are about. Not about worrying about pronouns or fucking, you know. It's not, it's gone away. We're Americans. We fall and we get the fuck up immediately. We don't sit there and wait for a fucking Jesus to come and wake you and tap you on the fucking shoulder. This is America. So yes, it was 9/11 yesterday, and yes, it happened 21 fucking years ago, and it was a horrible fucking day. But guess what? As Americans, we bounced back and we're slinging dick with 3 fucking hands. And guess what? That'll never happen again. That'll never happen again. We're fucking prepared. So all you motherfuckers that want to be woke and are worried about all the fucking wrong things in this life that's going on right now, worry about fucking us. We're fucking Americans. And that's it. And we fuck up and we get up and we plow through it. And if we fuck up again, we get up again and we plow fucking through it. That's what this means. You know, and it's, like I said, sad, a plane hit. All this shit is bad, but guess what? Us getting up is the most important thing, and we got up. And this is a lesson for fucking everybody. This is a lesson for everybody. Those people that walked in that day, they didn't know they were going to fucking get hit in the head with a fucking missile. Nobody fucking knew. So it just baffles me that we're worried about all these fucking things in today's world. I mean, all these things that aren't even gonna fucking matter in 20 fucking years. We're gonna look at this as a joke. Remember when everybody tried to be woke? Oh my God, get the fuck out of here. Remember when we were fucking Americans? That's what I want you motherfuckers to remember. That we're fucking Americans. Fuck you tranny shit. Fuck your weakling. Fuck your fucking, your allergy to peanut. We're fucking Americans, man. And we're dwelling too much on this shit, what we're weak on. But we work from strength. I work from fucking strength. I try to do my hardest to work from fucking strength, except for dyeing my fucking hair. You know what I'm saying? You got to work from weakness. But anyway, that's what's going on in my world on a beautiful fucking Monday morning, the day after 9/11. That's what the message I fucking got. You know, we're Americans, man. Sticks and stones will break our bones, but words will never. What the fuck is going on today? Everybody's sensitive. Everybody's worried about the fucking wrong things. And I'm done with this fucking conversation because I get fucking irritated. It's a beautiful fucking day to be alive. It's a beautiful Monday. I had to dye my hair. We're making progress, guys. I haven't heard from the fucking play, but I did hear from the movie that I was very excited about. First, they hit me back and they go, Joey, do us a favor. You taped against a white wall. I forgot. Like, I taped against a white wall with a black suit on. Mm-hmm. And I had a white face and white fucking hair. So I blended right into the white. So they called on, I had to put the audition on tape for Tuesday. They called back Wednesday, and they're like, Joey, we need a big favor. Don't get insulted. Can you dye your hair? And I'm like, what? Out of all the fucking requests, they're like, can you dye your hair? Your white hair just mixed into your skin color, and it mixed into the wall, and you look like a fucking locust. Do you mind doing it? I'm like, okay, I'll do it. It's a lot of fucking verbiage. So I sat down, I got the teleprompter set up again, and I had to read with my fucking wife. Okay. I didn't look at the audition because I thought my wife was looking at me. When I asked her how was the audition, she goes, it was great. And I knew the words, I knew the. But after she sent the fucking thing, I saw that the audition was on my phone, and I looked at it, and I'm like, I didn't look at the camera because the computer was down here. So I kept reading and looking up at the camera, and I'm like, what the fuck? Thank God they called on Friday and said, Joey, we liked your read, but only one thing. Can you do it again and stand up? Because I was sitting down for the read because it's me at a table with two other gangsters talking shit. So I said, fine. So they gave me till Friday to get my shit together. I've been studying them every day this fucking weekend. I sat down 30 minutes. I ran over them. When my wife came home, we sat down, went over them for a half hour. They told me they don't want the tape by fucking Friday. I'm going to work this motherfucking audition from every angle I can, and I'm going to get this fucking role. I just feel that good about it. I got another audition, too, where I play like a brother and a fucking brother, Marco and Marcus. I got to play two fucking, I can't deal with that shit. I got to do concept changes and wardrobe changes. That shit ain't for me. I can't. And plus it coincides, so I got a pilot I'm shooting October 4th, and I got this fucking movie, hopefully with the grace of God. And this week, we start the residency Saturday night. I know the tickets are sold out, and people are pissed and whatever. Listen, I put them on sale. I don't know. It's the lucky draw. I'm going to add some new shows. Nothing in Jersey, but I'm going to add some new shows in New York. Try to do a Long Island show one of these weekends. Maybe on a Thursday night up at the fucking, I talked to Linda Rowe. I owe her a call. I'm going to spread it out a little bit. I've been in Jersey too much. But the Jersey residency is over with, guys. Thank God. I had a great time. I appreciate everybody who came to the shows. Uncle Vinny's did a fucking great job. Natalie Cuomo. I mean, it was just a great little fucking situation. But it's time to move up into the fucking theater. It's time for Uncle Joey on Broadway. I had a great time in Point Pleasant. But it's time to go smoke some dope with some fucking savages over there in fucking New York City. Yeah, it was a great weekend, man. The UFC was crazy. Listen, guys, I don't discuss the UFC on here as much as a lot of people would like me to do because there's 200 podcasts that do it. They already discuss a lot of UFC, and I watch, like, there's weeks I forget that there's a fight on. People hit me up on Patreon, Joey, did you watch the fight? I'm like, fuck, I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't watch Cyril Gaines against Tuivasa. I don't watch a lot of fights. But this one I wanted to watch. I wanted to see what had happened. I mean, Friday was fucked up. There was a fight, I guess, on Thursday at the press conference.
Was that like fans?
No. It was two teams were yelling in the back. Kevin Holland's team and Kazmat's team, and fucking Nate Diaz started throwing bottles. I don't know. I wasn't there. But they canceled it, so it looked like it was going to be great fireworks. So I watched the fights. I watched the girl. I watched the first fight. Yeah, I watched all the fight. I didn't watch any prelims or anything. I had 2 softball games on Saturday. I had 1 softball game on Sunday. Fucking pool party on Saturday, So I came home just in time to watch the fucking card, and it was great. Man, you watch these guys. When I started watching the UFC, I am not, like, I didn't watch UFC 2 or 3. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I didn't jump on board till Anderson Silva came on to the league, and it's really weird that the people that I started watching over the years are now getting older. Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, they're gone. GSP, the guys I started, John Fitch, who's on fucking Twitter doing fight programs. He's fucking great. All these guys were the guys I came into the UFC with. And now a lot of these fighters, I have no idea who the fuck they are, you know. The fight game moves so fast. But I wanted to watch Nate against Tony Ferguson. I know both of them. They're very nice fucking guys. Great fighters. You know, the Kazmat fight, I don't know. He picked that guy up and threw him around by his neck like a fucking chicken. That dude is out of his fucking mind. That Kazmat, listen, guys, I've met a lot of people. You know, I got my own problems. I met a lot of crazy people, but that Kazmat, that dude is crazy. Every time he goes, woo, I'm like, oh my God, because he always comes out yelling, I'm a hitman, I'm going to murder this guy. And then all of a sudden at the end he goes, woo, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, this guy's hearing voices and shit. Somebody's going to die in that fucking octagon. But it was great. I bet Nick Diaz. I didn't, you know, listen, those UFC fights, if you're looking to bet and win money on them, there's no money on them. Like, if you bet Kazmat to win last night, you won $9. You put up like 25 to win $9. You know what I'm saying? I like fights where you put up 25, you win 60. At least double your fucking money to watch the fight for your time. But I bet Diaz small, and I bet Diaz to win by decision, which I lost that fucking thing. But it was still a great fight. It was great to see him. And, you know, here's the thing about Nate Diaz. Here's the thing about a lot of people. You know, perception is fucking huge sometimes. And the perception that we have of certain people like myself. You look at Nate Diaz, you could tell he smokes dope. You could tell he's punch drunk a little bit. He's been punched in the head a couple times. But let me tell you something about Nate Diaz. He's a fucking intelligent guy. To be a fighter, you have to be, listen, let's quote this. To be a fighter and to last 20 years in a fight game, there has to be some intelligence. There has to be some composure. You know, he ended his contract at the UFC, 20 fights, whatever. All these guys, you know, you have to respect that. But when you look at a guy like Nate Diaz or some of these other fighters, you always bring like your own judgment in. Like, maybe he's a fighter, maybe he's not that sharp. These guys, you know, somebody gave Nate Diaz that $1 million when he beat McGregor the first time. And yeah, he must have bought a pound of pot and some sneakers and shit, but he took his money and he invested it correctly. Then he got another $1 million, and God knows how many millions he got over the fucking years, and he invested them. And, you know, he wants to do a promotion now. He wants to do other things. That's what he said. He wants to master other things. And that's called evolution, guys. You know, there's nothing worse than seeing a guy and he's like, well, I'm going to go up to other leagues and make money and kick the fuck out of everybody. Nate's not talking about that. He's evolving. He's evolving. How many guys do you see that truly, really evolve? They go to the UFC and then they go, you know, they get cut and they go to the PFL or something, or Bellator. They have a couple different things, but at the end of the day, you know, you're 40 with no work. And yeah, you could teach martial arts, you could open up a school, you could train other guys and stuff like that. You know, it's amazing when you pick something and it opens up other doors for you for the future. As right here, I got into stand-up. I was so insecure, I didn't think I could ever do anything, but I thought I had a grip with stand-up. I fit all the, you know, like when you, you know, look at job qualifications like high school diploma, a valid New Jersey driver's license, you know, prerequisites. Well, prerequisites for comedy are like fucking drinking, doing drugs, and, you know, so they fit who I was at the time. As I got older, you know, I still did the drugs and I still enjoyed doing stand-up, but then I met someone and then not the odds change, but it's not that the odds ever change, it's that the stakes change. The stakes change. You're looking for different things now. You're not looking for a big fucking house anymore. It's like a 40-year-old divorced woman. She's not looking for, I want a guy that looks like Richard Gere that comes up with a horse. No, that ship sailed. You got cheated on. He fucked your sister. Listen, right now you just want a guy that's got teeth, a job, and insurance. And that's what they, you know, you adjust your fucking outlook, you know. One of the biggest fears I ever had with anything in life was having a job and having a great job or a great career like comedy or boxing or something that you work on commission, a musician, something like that you work on commission, and you do your 20 years over to something, and one day you decide, you know what, this is not what I want to do anymore. I still enjoy playing the guitar, but I think I want to broaden my horizons with producing and maybe teaching the guitar and maybe managing a band, That's the next evolution of guys. When I got to the Comedy Store, one of the scariest things for me, and guys, I never really had a lot of fears of the future because I never thought I was going to make it. I never thought I was going to make it past 37. I never thought. And then when I hit 40, I'm like, woo, holy shit, I hit 40. What's going to happen now? So I never really prepared for the future, but it was always on the back burner. It was on the back. It was one of those things that comes up every once in a while in your life, and you go, fuck it, I don't want to think about that right now. It'll all work out. But it's not going to work out. And then I hit my 40s, and I remember when I was 44, 45, or whatever, I got married. And everything fucking changed. Everything changed immediately when I got married. I don't know what happened to me. I still wanted to do stand-up. I still wanted to act. I still wanted to do a lot of things. But I wanted something to change, So I said, maybe I'll sell some cars. And the podcasting thing came up. And we didn't know where the podcasting was going to take us. We thought the podcast thing was going to last maybe a year or two. Well, it lasted like fucking 20 years. And it took me to the age of 60, and I'm very fucking grateful for it because my biggest fear was when I got to the Comedy Store, I saw a lot of 50-year-old guys. When I got to the Comedy Store, I was probably, 32, 33. There was a lot of guys up there in their 40s. A couple guys lurking in their 50s. You walk in the Comedy Store, they have puppy dog eyes, and they were looking for a spot or I don't want to say a handout, but they were looking for somebody to help them out with something. And that's great. But when you're 40 and 50, it seems like people don't want to help you. It seems like, you're out of, people like, but look, you're a little long in the fucking tooth, whatever. So people don't want to help you. And I saw a lot of guys up there that it was kind of sad. And again, for me, I would go, you know what, I'm not even going to worry about that. Because number one, I'm never going to do anything with this comedy shit. I'm just going to be one of Mitzi's losers till I'm 50. Hopefully she'll throw me out. And I'll just do these fucking D rooms all around town and tell people stories when I opened up for Joe Rogan on the road. And did I ever tell you about, and you're like, really, guy? So that was my biggest fear, was to be it. My biggest fear of all time was to end up a guy with a ponytail, with Led Zeppelin shirt on at Subway sandwiches. That was my biggest fear. Or any of those. You've all seen those guys. You walk into a gas station, they're fucking 60, they still got a Led Zeppelin shirt on, and they're working there, and the kids, the 20-year-olds are like impressed with them because they're like, oh, I partied with Jimi Hendrix. No! So right away the young kids are like fucking, and that lasts for about 3 months until one day you're like, what the fuck? You're my dad's age and you work here. My dad's at home watching fucking the news and you're here working like a fucking stiff that you are, 4 to 12, and you go to your shitty fucking apartment. Trust me, there's a lot of guys that do that. And when I was young, that's the life I wanted. I wanted to live like Charles Bronson. I didn't want to be like fucking, I didn't want to be fucking Johnny Boom Bots with a family or nothing. I wanted my own little room, maybe a cat with a bowl of milk next to my bed, one of those little army cots. That's what I thought I was going to end up with. So I never really thought about that this day would come, that I'd have a daughter or being married, So I worked fucking tremendously hard so that wouldn't happen. I was always worried about it. But when the podcast came, and all of a sudden my stand-up started blowing up a little bit, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be in rough shape when I'm fucking 50, because I'll never forget about 4 years ago, I was flying to Chicago, and sitting next to me, when I got to the airport, I saw a comic that's a little older than I am. He was a great comic, HBO specials, everything. This guy was fucking great in the 80s, 90s. And then, he got older, and when I caught him on the plane that day, he was a guy I looked up to for a long time. Like, I looked up to this guy. But after that plane ride that day, I was very sad with him. You know, he was 50, so he was my age now. This had to be maybe 5 years ago. He was my age now. I was probably 54, you know, and it was just a 2-hour plane ride of negativity. And I liked the guy, so I listened to him, I heard him out, but it wasn't negativity. It was like negativity, but at the same time, he was putting me down for what I was doing. I was rocking and rolling. You should quit now, but one of those, nothing's gonna go anywhere. These people suck, you know. And I remember that he was mad at me because I wouldn't tell Rogan to put him on the podcast because he thought if I get Rogan one time on the podcast, his life would change. Here's a guy that's been doing comedy for fucking 30 years at the time, and he thought that if he went on Rogan's podcast for one episode, everything was gonna fucking change. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of scary. And I'm like, you know what, man, I'm gonna make sure that when I get to that age, I don't want to be bitter about comedy. I don't want this in my life. This ain't worth it. And today he's gone. He disappeared. He struck some money by mistake, and he just didn't want to do it no more. I never wanted to be in a position where I didn't want to do something and I still had to fucking do it. That's fucking horrible. That's horrible. That's a horrible way to live. And let me tell you something, 60% of Americans live that way because they bought a house, they invested in a car, and now they got to make car payments. They spent over their head. You know, the last thing I wanted was was supposed to be my golden years for me to be breaking my fucking hump doing shit I didn't want to fucking do. That's what'll kill you, you know? And it's funny because the last 2 weeks or so, The Wrestler has been on. Have you ever seen the movie The Wrestler? You know, I do a movie of the week on Patreon. I do an album of the week, a movie of the week, whatever's going on. But The Wrestler is a movie I've always liked. I've always enjoyed The Wrestler. First off, I'm a big Mickey Rourke fan, so I understand, you know, I liked the movie he made with Kim Basinger where he put the carrots in a pussy. I like The Pope of Greenwich Village. I like fucking Angel Heart. I like a lot of fucking his movies. I forget the movie where he played the attorney and shit. When The Wrestler came out, I mean, nobody wanted to do business with him anymore. You know, nobody. Like, he had just gotten fucking crazy. But everybody knows all those old dudes have one great film in them. One great, you know, it's like the Giants. It's like the San Francisco 49ers in the fucking 80s. They would always sign people to one-year contracts. Guys that were 34, you know, that the team they were with wasn't happy. They could see that their young kids were coming in. Fucking San Francisco would start them and get that year. They would have their best years. They'd be an old men, but they'd have their best years because they knew they only had 1 year. And they wanted to make the best of 1 year. I don't know what Mickey Rourke was thinking when he made The Wrestler. I like The Wrestler. I enjoyed a lot of parts of The Wrestler. But the thing that stuck with me the most, The Wrestler is a story that I dreaded. The Wrestler is about Mickey Rourke, and he's an old wrestler. He already fought in Madison Square Garden. You know, he did all his great things. He fought on pay-per-view, sold all these things. But that was in his 30s. Now he's like 50, 55. He lives in a van. He does steroid. They show the whole life of a wrestler. And the funny thing is, it's shot here in New Jersey. It's all around. As soon as you see it, you'll go, holy fuck. It's like the Amboys and South. It's all South Jersey. But this movie is everything. And whenever I see this movie, I'm sad, but I'm happy at the same time that I didn't fall into this. I mean, listen, let's figure this out. If I wouldn't have married my wife, Terry, if I would have just told Terry, listen, I don't want to get clean and sober. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I love you. You go on with your life and do the best you can. I'll keep in touch with you and stuff because I really love my wife. But if I didn't get clean from coke, I don't see my life to be any different than The Wrestler. And that's a horrible fucking story. Lonely. You know, you live in a fucking van. You live in a trailer. He sleeps in his trailer, but when he doesn't have money for the rent, he has to sleep in the van. I know we've all done that. I've done that shit like a motherfucker. You know, he has no girlfriend. He had no wife, no children. He had a daughter that didn't speak to him. Remind you of anybody? So, I mean, there was just all these things that you look at the end of your life. And listen, this guy, this character that he played, did great things in wrestling. But, you know, you get too old to fly through the fucking air. And I mean, this guy in this movie, you know, he's Mickey Rourke's age, this character, and he's doing all this shit that young kids got to do. He's got to get hit in the head with chairs and fucking, they cut razor blades and fucking, you know, they're spraying bug spray in their eyes. They're fucking throwing them off a ladder. You think a 50-year-old guy could do that? You got another thing coming. And he's not making thousands of dollars a fight. He's making a couple hundred here, a couple hundred here. He's just putting a fucking piece. I mean, there's a part where he's buying steroids. And the guy goes, I gave you $1,100 of steroids. I know you only got $400. I'll carry you to the next time. You know, that guy knew he wasn't going to get the back end of the money from the steroids, but the universe helps you in a lot of ways. I'm watching this movie and I'm like, wow, this would have been me if I wouldn't have got my life together. Like, this would have been me. Like, after Terry would have left and after the comedy was gone, or maybe the comedy wouldn't be gone, people would still come up to me and said, hey, you're the guy from The Longest Yard. We could use you for this fucking comedy thing. And I got to go wear a football shirt. Shit that I don't want to fucking do. They show him at, like, for years, my brother George is a fucking savage. Great framer. He frames all this stuff. But he's a framer for Comic-Con in L.A. His company, the company he works for, one of the things he does is he frames. Every year he begs me, Joey, you got to come to Comic-Con. Joey, you got to come to Comic-Con. I can't go to Comic-Con. I can't go to Comic-Con. I'll give you the reasons why. Because, yeah, it's about, you know, pop culture and all this shit that's going on today. And they do all these, you know, talks and all this stuff, Q&As about shows, and that's all great if you have the patience and if you like doing that stuff. I like doing that stuff, but I don't want to do it with 10,000 people around me. That, you know, I want to see Pacino talk or something. But the other thing I don't like is the autograph booths. Like the people that sit there and you come up to me and go, hey, Joey, oh my God, I love The Longest Yard. It's 2050. That was 2005. You know, and here I am, old, gray, with a football shirt on, giving out autographs. Listen, it's a living. It's better than robbing somebody. It's better than sleeping on somebody's couch. It's way better than doing anything. I just never wanted to do that. I couldn't see myself fucking sitting there and people coming up to me. I mean, they show like the wrestler, like Mickey Rourke and the wrestler. He's at the Comic-Con. He was, first of all, it was not a Comic-Con. It was a VFW.
Yeah,
and they didn't even put him in the back. Like on Sundays in Old Bridge, they have a VFW in Old Bridge, I think it is, and they do a baseball card show. And I went there one day and I was like, ooh, this is fucking crazy. I liked it. I bought some cards for Mercy, and a friend bought some cards, but it was kind of, you know, it's the micro. You know, it's not like a big place with lights and pictures of fucking Bruce Lee. It's just a VFW that smells like piss, and people go in there and buy fucking cards on Sundays. No big deal, but he had a Comic-Con at a VFW somewhere in Jersey, maybe Camden or something like that. That's what it looked like Camden or one of those fucking places. And the guys were falling asleep, like the other wrestlers, and he was looking at the other wrestlers. One wrestler was in a wheelchair. One wrestler had like a fake leg. Like two wrestlers just asleep. You know, there was one wrestler that was drunk. And it just shows the sadness. It shows the sadness of that life. You know, like it's all great and dandy when the lights are on and stuff. But once the light turns on and the show is over, you're sleeping with mice. You know, at the end of your fucking life, which it just didn't work for me, man. I just didn't want to be that guy. And over the years, as a comic, you know, as a young comic, you have to work B rooms and C rooms. You're like, Joey, what the fuck is an A room? An A room is an improv. An A room is a theater. An A room is the Denver Comedy Works is an A room. They got a lot of fucking stars there. The Comedy Store is obviously a fucking A room. The Improv Comedy Clubs are A rooms. Caroline's is an A room. Gotham is an A room. Then there's the littler clubs, the smaller mom and pop shops. They're either a B room or a C room, depending on what they fall into it. Like Uncle Vinny's, where I perform, it's a great club. But it's in between a C and a B room. Okay, you're not going to get too many. You're not going to get the Rogans and the Sebastians, and not because it's not a good club. It's a small club. It only seats 150 people. If Sebastian's going to do a show there, he have to stay there for 2 months and do a show every day to reach everybody. So that's the only reason why. Like, that's the differences. So, you always opt. You want to play in the A room, but when you get older, you don't draw anymore. You don't, you can't do the longer weeks. So there's comedy rooms that are Fridays and Saturdays, Poughkeepsie, little rooms. Like, yeah, you have the Zanies in Nashville, but I think Jackson has a smaller comedy club. And then there's another place, a beer garden, that does comedy. If you can't get into the Zanies improv, into Zanies, so, but towards the end of your career, those are the rooms you'll be playing. Zanies, yeah, if the guy listen, and there's another thing. When I got into comedy, when I got into touring in 2009, like by myself, not with Joe or not with anybody else, or Andrew or anybody else, they told me to always be a gentleman at these clubs. They were like, always be a gentleman at these improvs. Because every time you go to an improv as a comic, your guarantee gets raised. Joey, what's a guarantee? Okay. When you first go to a club or something, it's your first time at a club headlining, they're probably going to give you $1,500 plus a plane ticket. You're going to do 1,000 fucking shows, $1,500 plus a plane ticket. Sometimes they don't even give you a fucking plane ticket. So if you're getting $1,500 and if the fucking plane ticket's $400, you get $900 now. So always think about all these things I'm talking about here, and I'll let you know if it's with a plane ticket or it's not with a plane ticket. Once you get a little older, they don't, it's like when the wrestler walked in to do a gig. Everybody was changing in like a dressing room, like a locker room that smelled like dick. And what did they do? They put him in a boiler room that smelled like more dick. Like that's the VIP section of the club, the boiler room. At that point, you accept it. When you were younger, you go, what the fuck is this? I'm not performing here. I mean, there's comics. There was a comic when I started that if you sent a black limo for him, he wouldn't get in the fucking car. He would get back on the plane and go back home.
Those two
guys, a white fucking limo. If he didn't have a white limo, if you send a black limo, he would go home. So when that guy's in his 60s, he's gonna have a hard time finding fucking work because they have green rooms with like you're in the fucking manager's office. Like a lot of people always go to me, I want to go in the. I remember when I went to Buffalo, there's a guy that tortured me all weekend. I want to go in the green room. I want to go in the green room. I finally brought him in the green room. Sad. I go, there's the green room. And he goes, where's the party? What? This is the green room. What is your perception that happens in the green room? You think I got a chick back there that's cutting toenails and sucking assholes and food and people flying through it? There's nothing going on. It's me, Felicia, and who's ever emceeing, and we're talking about a movie we saw 2 weeks ago. Nobody's drinking. Nobody's fucking jumping up and down. Nobody's ODing. So, some people just don't get it. But when you go to a club the first time as a comic, you always want to make a good impression. Like I bombed in Columbus. But I was a gentleman. Okay, what's a gentleman? You don't drink. You don't hit on the wait staff. You don't hit on anybody in the fucking club. You just go there, do your thing, and be as nice as you can. Every time you go to those clubs, if you do a good job, you get a raise. And you keep getting a raise. Every year, I don't know, it goes up 500, maybe 1,000 if you really, And it goes, and then one day you just blow out of there and you go into a theater but if you're a gentleman all those years to that improv or that funny bone, whatever your guarantee is, it stays there. So even though I might not be selling tickets in 3 fucking years. I'll still have that guarantee. That guarantee. I worked my way up to get that guarantee. Do you follow me? Once you go to a B room and C room when you get older, the guarantee disappears. So either you stay in, like for me, I would stay in improvs. I could stay at the improvs. If I traveled and shit, I would stay at the improvs till I'm fucking until the improvs put me in there because I have a nice relationship with them. So, but that's the thing. If you're a dickhead, they won't bring you back. So when you're old, the reward that you get is you don't have to sell that many tickets, but we'll bring you back twice as a thank you. As a thank you for being a gentleman all those years and for always coming here on time and for selling tickets and for promoting your dates. That goes a long fucking way, you know. So, yeah, if you ever want to know what life is for people after the fucking fun is over and you don't get treated, it's like watching Rocky. You know, Rocky got treated like shit before that happened. You know, they took his locker away. They fucking, you know, Rocky just got thrown to the wolves. And then he won, then he got everything the fuck back. But if Rocky would have stayed in the thing, then your manager goes away. Because remember, if you're not making money, you think these managers are going to stick around? No. So all these older guys we got no protection. We just count on, Mike, can I come April 22nd to the 23rd? Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen when I'm there. Because I don't sell tickets, now I got to do shit I don't want to do. You might send me to a mall to give out flyers at a mall. That's not what I want to do at 60 fucking years old. But if I want to fucking work, this is what I'm going to have to do. So, do you understand how it works? So when you want to see, that wrestler movie had nothing, and it's what I tell people, an art is an art is an art. You know? Jimmy Page walks into fucking the Garden right now. Whatever band's on stage, will give him the guitar. Nice and easy. Jimmy Page could walk into the fucking Garden tomorrow and go, how you doing? I'm here to see Rage Against the Machine. And they'll look at him. Do you have tickets? Do I look like I need fucking tickets? I'm Jimmy fucking Page. I'm walking right to the green room, and I want to talk to fucking Tom Morello and figure out what extra guitars he has. That's how he's walking in there because he's an old man. He doesn't know. Then when he gets down there, like, either they're going to go, holy shit, it's Jimmy fucking Page. But if Jimmy, like I love Ace Frehley, right, from Kiss. Like, Ace Frehley's a fucking savage. But Ace Frehley's a man without a fucking flag. Like, he's just doing shit himself. He's with Kiss. So a lot of people are like, oh, we don't have to do anything for Ace Frehley because he's not a member of the Kiss Army. Do you see how it works, guys? It's kind of fucking weird how goofy these people get. But Gene Simmons still gets fucking great treatment. But these guys could walk into anywhere and go, I'm here to perform with a band. They're on legend status. They're on legend status. And yeah, you'll come in and sing something stupid song like Get Back. I don't want to hear Get Back by the Beatles. I was watching that thing last week from the Foo Fighters, and it was very interesting until Paul McCartney came on with the chick from the Pretenders.
I didn't even see that one.
Oh, I don't know what he was fucking singing, but it didn't sound good. Like, this is the first time he's ever performed that song live. Yeah, he should have performed it live 50 years ago when people gave a fuck. Not now, 40 years. Yeah, come on, man. But he's a legend. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's a legend status, and he walked right the fuck on there. But did you see Ringo Starr there? Nobody gives a fuck about Ringo. And Ringo's still touring, still trying to do his submarine band. Still, you know, he's sober now and the whole thing. But it's a shitty fucking world for an old actor. It's a shitty fucking world for an old wrestler. It's a shitty fucking world for an old comic. And I am grateful every fucking day when I wake up that I don't have to go through that shit. Like, beg to put me on stage or anything. This makes me the happiest that I could be. You know, I always looked at Dominic Chianesi's career. You know, Dominic Chianese was in Godfather 2. He was in Gotti. He was in a couple movies. And then when he's 63 or 64, he gets the break of a fucking lifetime. He gets the break of a fucking lifetime. And you're old. You know, you're fucking old. You can't do the same shit you used to. But you still do the best you fucking can. I mean, I love Dominic Chianese. He became a star when he was 70 fucking years old. Those are the guys, that you fucking look at and go, they survived this. And they did it the right way. And now they don't have to do stupid shit. I never really had to work with old actors. The only guy I worked with that wasn't on top of his, he wasn't the guy he was when he shot Goodfellas, was like Paul. I forget what his name is. Paul Vario, whoever played Paul Vario. I did a movie with him, The Raging Bull. And he was older, and he was great. He sang Italian songs all night with a guitar. He fucking told them, slow down. I'm old. I work on my own pace. They catered to him a little bit. He knew his lines. I worked with Rodney when he was old, and that motherfucker did not know his fucking lines, and they had to read him off the camera. So he would go, line. Mike would say, go fuck yourself. Line. Tell him go fuck yourself. I mean, that was how bad his memory was. But my point is, listen, man, I enjoyed The Wrestler because it lets you know what happens if you don't get your fucking life together. Then he has a fucking heart attack. Then he finally meets a girl. And then they tell him he can't wrestle anymore because he'll die, and he fucking takes the last wrestling match, and it's fucking great. It all works out for him. But just to see what his life is about now compared to what it was then, Like, I'm trying to think of a band right now that, a lot of the bands that are on tour right now, take Quiet Riot. Okay, let's talk about Rudy Sarzo and Quiet Riot. Obviously, they're not the same Quiet Riot from fucking 40 years ago, but they're making it happen. I just got an email. They're playing in Bergen County April 2nd or something like that. I can't wait to see Rudy, because last time they played in Violin. I'm scared to go to Violin. They'll kill you down there. So I don't know what the fuck happened in Violin. But no, I really enjoyed The fucking Wrestler the last couple of weeks, and that's the reason I think I enjoyed it as much as I did, because when I first saw The Wrestler, I thought I was going to end up like that. And there's nothing wrong with ending up like that. I mean, it happens to the fucking best. But before anything, now for a word from my motherfucking sponsors. I'm sorry to take that break from the podcast, but listen, I got to talk to you about BetterHelp. Sometimes you can fixate on a problem so long that you can't take the time to find the solution. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when facing with challenges of life. But when you learn how to find your solutions, there's no better feeling. And a therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier for you to accomplish your goals. Listen, when I was stuck, I had to turn to therapy, and guess what? It helped, because two heads are better than one. And that's what happens when you get together with BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy that offers video, phone, and chat therapy sessions. You can choose not to see anybody if you don't want to, but it's a lot more affordable than in-person therapy, and I can get you a therapist within 48 hours. Right now, if you try to get a face-to-face therapist, you're going to wait a year. Let's get this party started now to be a better you with BetterHelp. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/Diaz, D-I-A-Z, and I'm going to get you 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Diaz. They'll help you with whatever problem you may have. And now, back to the show. All right, you bad motherfuckers. Sorry about that. I almost forgot about BetterHelp. You got to take care of your fucking coconut cocksuckers. Last week, school started. She's doing great in fucking school. It's great to see all the kids. Listen, man, I love this time of the year. Yesterday, I remember I went out for a cup of coffee. I went out to my backyard to drink a cup of coffee, and fucking leaves were everywhere. Leaves already. I mean, it's a beautiful fall fucking... I'm just excited about this whole thing, and I'm excited about Saturday night. I haven't been in a big venue in a long time. I did those shows with Bert, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I did those 2 shows with Joe, and I was fucking completely lost in Atlantic City. And I did a show with Tom Segura, and I'll never forget, that was the first time I was on stage in a while. When I got off stage with Tom Segura, I actually had to fucking sit down for 30 or 40 minutes because I thought my head was going to fucking blow up. It was just overwhelming. So I was very happy that I got to do those 8 or 9 shows at Uncle Vinny's. I did a couple spots at the Stress Factory. I did a couple spots at Asbury Park. And I got to be honest with you guys, I had a great time on stage, was what I really wanted to do. I wanted to have fun again, you know. None of this shit is ever any good unless you have fun. And the last 3 or 4 years I was going on the road, I was bringing people I enjoyed, like Dean and Kate and just Steve Simone and Lee, but I wasn't traveling in a big group. Like when I used to go on the road with Joe and Ari and Duncan, it was fucking fun. It was fun. You know, me and Duncan would go up to the roof at the hotel and smoke pot, just little stupid shit that we did. And for some reason, the last 5 or 6 years, 7 years, with the theaters and the numbers and shit, it just really wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't. It was work. And one of the greats, Eddie Griffin once told me that fucking he got into comedy so he didn't have to work. And for years, whenever I would see Eddie, I would go, "How you doing?" He's like, "Man, I'm not having a good time. These motherfuckers are making me work." And it's fun, you know, like when you make money, it's great to go out. But if you're not having a fucking tremendous time, it's and this is what I had to remind myself of. These last 4 months weren't about me writing material or me trying to fucking write a 1-hour special. I'm not even looking for that anymore. I was looking just to go have comedy, just go do comedy and laugh my ass off on stage while I'm doing it and not worry about Netflix and not worry about what's coming out of your fucking mouth because somebody's going to get offended and not worried about just stupid shit that has nothing to do with stand-up. When you look at Judy Carter's stand-up comedy book, it doesn't mention anything, what I was going through doing stand-up the last 5 years. But it never also mentioned that stand-up, you should be fucking having a blast. You know, I stopped smoking dope before I went on stage. There was, you know, from 2012 to 2013, I was eating fucking 18,000 milligrams and going on stage and forgetting my fucking material and laughing and giggling and just doing all this shit that was basic. But then when the numbers and the theaters and the agents and people started calling you, it just took it a lot. It's not what I signed up for, you know? It's like when you go into the NFL, you know, these kids that play football when they're 5, and then when they're in high school, they play high school fucking football. Then they go to college, and all they want to do is play football, and then you get to the NFL, and they got 9,000 fucking rules. And yes, you're getting paid millions of dollars a year, and you enjoy playing football, so you'll fucking follow the rules. Like, you know, when I did The Longest Yard, there were a couple of NFL players on there, and they would tell me little things of what they had to do. Didn't sound like fucking fun. Like Brian Bosworth got fined because he wouldn't tuck his shirt in every week. That's my fucking prerogative if I want to touch my shirt. You don't even know what's going on. Maybe I tuck my shirt in and my balls are too big and the shirt gets kinkled in my underwear. You have no fucking idea. But if you're going to find me for, you know, like all that shit, that's the shit I cannot deal with at all. And with comedy, it started popping up more. You guys see it. People criticizing your material, people taping your fucking sets and taking them. It's not supposed to be that. It was just supposed to be fun. I'm supposed to go to your town. I'm like fucking Grand Funk Railroad. You know, I'm supposed to come to your town and party out with you motherfuckers. But it doesn't become that. It's not even close to that. It's work and people, don't go out there. There's too many people. You can't, you know. So I was like, I'm done with this shit. And now I'm starting to have fucking fun again. Just basic fun. I don't want to fucking listen, the comedy thing says a comedy show. It said nothing about a small photography fucking session. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody said that. So for years, I was like, if I got to go over there, I got to take a bunch of pictures. No more. I'm not doing it. It wasn't fun for me anymore. Fun for me was going on stage, cracking jokes, and then finishing the show and going in the back and hanging out with my friends and the other comics and goofing. It wasn't going out there, and I didn't like it no more. Last weekend, I tried it. Last weekend at Uncle Vinny's, no pictures. I go right to the back. That's it. It's over. I just want to do comedy, and everything else was wearing me the fuck down. It's over. This is all about having fun. And I'm going to remind you again, this is all about having fun. And I forgot that. I turned it into a fucking business. And you have to. At some point, you have to. But you always got to have a little bit of fun. Nothing is worth it if you're not going to have fun. Think about it. Even your job. You go to your job not because you like your job. You go to your job because you enjoy the people you work with. You enjoy the people you work with. Maybe there's a nice Chinese restaurant up the corner. There's all these little things. You wouldn't go to your fucking job if you weren't having a good time. That makes that job suck dick. That's why some kid hit me up this week on Patreon. I don't know, my boss quit. Quit. Listen, I got two favorite fucking lines. If you're walking on ice, you might as well dance. And fucking, what's the other one I always say? I was looking for a job when I found this motherfucker. So, before I'm going to work here and get ulcers and get fucking, what's that shit what Brock Lesnar had, colitis and all that. Before you get all this shit, remember one thing. If you're not having fun, it's not going to fucking work. I got Stu Feiner coming Saturday night. Lee Syatt's doing a little Jewish spot up front. Ari Shafir will be there. So I did that on purpose because I want to have fucking fun, giggle, jump up and down. Laughing Gas will be there giving out some fucking samples for you guys. I spoke to the Sony Hall people last week. They are fucking tremendous. They are just as excited as I am. So this is what this week is about, putting a couple jokes together. You know, all those years with those specials, you have to worry about what you say. I don't want to do that no more. I don't even know what I want to do. I don't even know. When I go up there, that's the thing about me. I don't like doing the same set twice. So I don't know what I want to do. Now I got to work on this fucking one set and repeat it verbatim for the fucking special. That shit's done. I'm done with all that shit. My goal from now till they put me in the fucking grave is to have fun. That's it, like Sheryl Crow. All I want to do is have some fun. I'm sick and tired of going up there all tense. You can't do the material about the baby. Who gives a fuck? Have a great time, motherfuckers. It's Monday. It was the 20-year anniversary yesterday, 21 year. We're liberating. I'm here to remind you. We're Americans, motherfucker. Do your thing, live your life. And remember, we're number one. We don't fucking bow down for nobody. I'm a felon, and I won't bow down for nobody as an American. That's what it means to be a fucking American. Stay black. I love you, cocksuckers. Have a great Monday, and I'll see you, son of a bitches, Wednesday the 14th. Tip Top Magoo. And now for a word from my motherfucking sponsors, Jack. All right, you bad motherfuckers. Thank you very much for listening today. It was a great little chit-chat with you guys. I'm sorry about the 11. But anyway, the joint is brought to you by Betterhelp. Listen, sometimes you fixate on a problem for so long that you don't know how to find the solution. It could be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when you're faced with a challenge in life. But when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you accomplish your better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals. Listen, therapy is help right now. A lot of people are confused. They don't know what's going on. If you're having a hard time focusing, whatever, I suggest you contact BetterHelp. They're an online therapy that offers video, phone, and chat therapy sessions. You can choose not to see anyone on camera if you like, and it's much more affordable than in-person therapy. And guess what else? It works. So do me a favor. Go to BetterHelp.com right now. Press in code Diaz, D-I-A-Z, and I'm going to get you 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/Diaz. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can help you out. So go to BetterHelp.com/Diaz to get 10% off your first month. The joint is also brought to you by DraftKings. Listen, Opening week, you missed it, you fucked up. It was action-packed, and we made a little fucking scuttle. Get ready for week 2 tonight with Denver against Seattle. The action starts this evening with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on any football game and get 200 in free bets instantly. Now, you want more action? That's tremendous. I got more action for you. Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. Bet on the NFL team to win. If your team leads by 10 at any point of the game, you get paid instantly, even if the team comes back to beat them. Who's better than you? DraftKings, that's who. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use promo code Joey, Joey, to get 200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on a football game. That's code Joey, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And now, if nothing else is bothering you, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and go win some motherfucking money. I want to thank DraftKings and I want to thank Betterhelp, but I want to thank you guys for always supporting and watching the show. We'll be back Wednesday morning. Tip top Magoo. Have a great day and a great week.